Hello students. In the series of learning C++, today we will start with expression and statements, arrays and string. So for our today's content, we will study expression, statement, arrays, one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, strings, character function, ctype.h, string function, that is string.h. So let's start with expression. Now, an expression is a particular concept in computer science in which the number of variables or constants and operators and functions are put together in a single statement that is acted on by a particular programming language. So basically, expression is nothing but a combination of variables and constant. We will have some operator and operands. On those operands that operator will act and some operation will be performed. So we can summarize it as expression is equals to operator plus operand. Operators, now we already studied operators during our last slide. Operators, we saw so many types of operator like arithmetic operator, relational operator, conditional operator, bitwise operator. So all those are operators which is nothing but a symbol with a predefined meaning in our computer. Then operands, any constant variable combination can be operand, or only variable can be operand, or only constant can also be operands. So as you can see this line, c is equals to 5 plus c. This c is equals to 5 plus 6 is an expression. It is combination of constant and variable. We have constant 5 and 6 and we have a variable c. Now in this we are having is equals to and plus also. They are nothing but our operator. As we know, this plus is a arithmetic operator. Fine. So this plus is already have a meaning in computer memory. That means if two integer value with plus, that means it will add these integer value. And this assignment operator also have a meaning that it have to assign the r value to the l value. This is right hand side value and this is left hand side value. So we are in this expression, we are going to add 5 plus 6 and that result will be stored in a variable c. So your plus and is equals to are operator and c, 5 and 6 are operands. We can also have c is equals to a plus b. That is full expression with only variables. Then value of a plus b will be stored to c. As we know, because of this assignment operator, we have a rule that always this r value is stored in l value. We can't write 5 plus 6 is equals to c, because this type of assignment from right hand side to left hand side, only that assignment is possible. From left hand side to right hand side, this sort of assignment is not possible because of this assignment operator. So this is my expression. Expressions are used in programming languages, database systems and spreadsheet application. Now let's take an example about database system. In database system, if you use an expression to specify which information you want to see. Now we are having so many commands in database. They are nothing but expression. We have to write a command and these type of expression are known as queries in database management system. So we are using expression widely in our computer science. Next type of expression. Expressions are often classified by the type of value that they represent, by the data type, return type of the value that they represent. Let us suppose first type of expression is Boolean expression. Now Boolean expression evaluates to either true or false, because it can take only of two values, either true or false. Suppose I give you expression like this, is it Sunday? Now the answer can be either true or false. If it is Sunday, it is true, and if it is not Sunday, then it is false. So for such cases, we can only have two answers, and we have to choose either one of them. Next, integer expression. Integer expression evaluate to whole number like 3, 10. Any whole number will be represented by integer expression. So basically integer take 2 bytes in memory, and range for integer is -32762 plus 32768. It can take any number in between this range. Then we have floating point expression. Floating point expression evaluate to real number like 3.141 or -0.005. All these things can be taken by a floating point. Floating point takes 4 bytes in memory. So approximate after this decimal, it takes 7 digit. So that is floating point expression. Then we have string expression. String expression evaluate to character string. As we know that collection of single character is nothing but string. So string expression evaluate the character strings. Suppose I want to print hello or name of any person or any string, any collection of character. For that thing, I have to use string expression. So these are basic four types of expression: Boolean expression, integer expression, floating point expression, and string expression. Let's start with statements. Statements. A statement calls the computer to carry out some definite action. Like in C++ also support both type of instruction, simple statement and control statement. We are basically having two types of statement, and to carry out any definite action for any instruction, we provide a statement, and our computer will work according to that instruction or statement. So we will study simple statement and control statement in C++. Let's start with simple statement. A simple statement is nothing but assignment. If I'm writing A is equals to 5 plus 6. So A is equals to 5 plus 6 means I'm providing an expression with constants and with a variable. Constant means 5 and 6 are constant and C is a variable. So after addition, after doing 5 plus 6, it is assigned to C. So we are using assignment operator for that, and this is my simple assignment. If I'm writing A is equals to B, value of B will be copied to A. So this is my normal assignment statement. Then if I'm saying go to, now go to is nothing but if I want to do something again and again, so for that I will use go to. Then we use return. If in case I want to return a value, then I use return. And call, for any function call, we use call. These are simple statements. Then we have control statements. For control statement, we have do loop, for loop, if statement, switch, and while loop. Now, for each and every control statement, we are having different syntax. So, for control statements, we are using these, we will have some condition, initialization, and then we will have increment or decrement. A program is usually not limited to linear sequence of instruction. During its process, it may bifurcate, repeat code, or take decision. Now, for that purpose, C++ provide control statement. So, this control structure serve to specify what has to be done by our program, when and under which circumstances. That's why we are using this control statement. With the introduction of control statement, we have to study two more points: block statement and compound statement. A block is a group of statements which are separated by semicolons. Like in C++, we use the semicolon as a statement terminator, and we will use this braces. So anything which is inside this braces will be treated as a block statement. We are creating a block by using these braces. So that is my block statement. Most of the control structure that we will see in this control statement section require a generic statement as a part of syntax. For each and everything, we will have a syntax. A statement can be either simple statement, means simple instruction ending with a semicolon, or a compound statement that have several instruction grouped by a block. So we will have a block, and inside that block we can have several statement. Now for this, we used to enclose those statement with the help of blocks. We have to open braces and we have to close that braces. That means we are forming a block for that statement. Fine. So let's study about the syntax of do while. See, do while, syntax for do while, it works like this. We have to do certain computation, we have to do certain tasks. That's why I'm writing this do here. I'm creating a block with opening braces, and I'll write any statement here. Number of statement you want this block to perform, you can write that thing inside this block. Then you have to close this block by using this uh, closing braces, and at last you have to write condition while, and this condition, until this condition don't violate, this thing will be continue. So this is how we can work with do while. So let's take a example using do while. Let's take an example using do while. First of all, I have to include header file, that is include input output stream.h. Then I'm including conio.h, that is console input output.h. Then I'm writing my main function and I'm opening this braces. Now let us suppose I want to print value from 1 to 5. So I'm taking a variable that is of integer type. Let us suppose int t is equals to 1. So this is my initialization of variable t is equals to 1. Then I'm writing syntax for do. Now we know that we have to write keyword do. We have to open braces. So I'm creating a block. This is my block statement. And I'm writing cout. Cout is my output stream. If I want to see anything on the screen, I have to write cout. It will be followed by two less than sign, and then I have to write the variable. If I'm writing variable simply like this, it will take value of variable, and if I put quotes with this variable, it will print t on screen. And if I'm not putting these quotes, it will print value of t on the screen. Now I want everything in next line, that's why I'm putting endl, and then I'm doing increment in t. So I'm increasing t by 1. This t plus plus is nothing but t is equals to t plus 1. It will be treated like t is equals to t plus 1. So I'm incrementing t by 1 and I'm closing this block. So inside my block, we are having two statements. One will print value of t on screen and another one will increment value of t. Now I have to give condition. So I'm writing while that t is less than and is equals to 5. Till that time we have to print. So what this program will do, first of all it will initialize t is equals to 1, then it will do cout t, means we will have t on the screen, and it will increment value of t. Let us suppose first value of t is 1. After this line, value of t will be incremented to 2. As soon as it come out from the block, it will find the condition while t is less than is equals to 5. We have to repeat this thing again and again. So it will again go up and print t till t is less than is equals to 5. So this is how do while works. Then we can simply write get ch, and we can close this block. So let's save this program at, let us suppose, do.cpp. So let's compile it. Alt F9. We don't have any error in this program. Control F9. So as you can see, value for t 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. If I want to change my condition, I can do that thing accordingly. This is my clear screen. If I want this thing to be printed till 10, I can do that thing also. Now I will have value till 10. So this is how you can change your condition accordingly. I hope this do section is clear to you. Do while. So this is what my do while. After this we have for loop. For for loop we start like this. We have to write a keyword for. Then we have to do initialization. We have to write condition, and in between initialization and condition we have to put a statement terminator. Then we have to put another statement terminator, and we can do increment or decrement. Then again we have to form the block, and inside this block we have to write statements. For if a statement, we are having a keyword if, then we have to write condition, and then we have to follow a block. Then inside this block you can write your statements. Then we can write else, and we have to go for another statement. So it will work like this. If this condition satisfy, we have to do this, else we have to do this. So this is if else. Then we are having switch statement. Switch will work like this. We have to provide switch. Switch is a keyword, and we have to provide some character or some integer here. Then it will check the cases accordingly to this character or expression. Then if that this case will match, it will print the data and it will break at the same instant. Otherwise it will go to other case and it will check accordingly. Then we have a default case. If all cases will not work, default case will be executed. Then we have a while loop. Similar as we were dealing with do while, here we do initialization in the beginning, then we give while and condition. If this condition is satisfying, we will execute these statements which are inside the block. So we will make one program for each for if, switch and while loop. let's start with for loop. For each and everything, if syntax is clear to you people, then it will be not a problem. Uh, for loop, let's print again from 1 to 5 using for loop. We did this thing with the help of do while loop. Now we will do this thing with the help of for loop. Basically your for loop is nothing but looping means we will do iteration. Continuously we will print something. We also saw for at the time we studied C language. That time we also work with for loop. So I hope that syntax is clear and you remember that syntax. So for any program, first of all, we have to include our header file. This is my main function. Now, main function is also a block of statement. We are opening braces, and as soon as our function is finishing its work, we are closing braces in the end. So for loop, let us suppose I'm taking a variable int n. Now, syntax of for loop, we have to write keyword for, then we have to do initialization. So let us suppose my initialization is n is equals to 1. Then I have to put a statement terminator. This n should be less than is equals to 5. Till that time I will execute it, and again statement terminator, and I want to increment it. Then again I have to create a block, and inside this block I will print C. Now for print n, value of n. So for printing value of n, I have to write cout n, and I'm putting a endl. Fine. Now this block is closed because working is over here. I'm putting one clear screen function also. Now after this we have to write get ch. Now we have to close this main function also. So as you can see, with do while also we did same thing, and with for also we are doing same thing with different syntax. For initialization, condition, increment, decrement, then we are creating this block and we are printing that result. So let's save this program. Now alt F9 for compiling this program. We don't have any error. For running this program, control F9. As you can see, we are having 1 to 5 values on the screen using for loop. So this is how our for loop works. Now let's do something with do loop, only do, not with while. Now let's do something with while loop, only while loop. So let's include our header files. iostream.h and conio.h. Now I'm creating my main function. Now let's have a clear screen function, and I'm taking a variable int n. This is my n variable. Now I want to print have a means up till now we are printing counting from 1 to 5. Now I want user to enter some value, and till that value we will print our counting. So let's ask user to enter a number. So whatever I will write in quotes in cout will be appear on the console window. So enter the starting number, and we will print reverse counting using this. So we are giving that number to memory using cn. Now we are applying while loop. So for condition for while loop is while, and we have to write condition here till n is greater than 0. Execute this while loop. We are opening this braces, and we will print this n. Whatever inside this n, we will print this n. And this time let's print this with a comma. So after each value we will find a comma, and let's do minus minus n, or n minus minus, anything can be done. Fine. Now I'm closing this while loop. And at last, as soon as it will come out after completing this while loop, we will have hello brainy student. So this we will have as soon as that loop is completed. Now I'm putting get ch, and I'm closing my main function. Let's save this program first. This is my example for while. So I'm writing while.cpp. As you can see, we have a main function. Inside this main function, we are asking user to input some number. We are taking that number, and that number in memory name for that number is n. Now while n is greater than 0, till that time we will print n, and we will decrement n. So if let us suppose n is 5, so it will check n is greater than 0. If condition satisfied, it will print 5, and it will put a comma. Then it will do decrement n minus minus. Now n is 4. It will again check, and it will print. Till the time n is not equals to 0 or greater than 0, this thing will happen. As soon as this condition violate, it comes out from this braces, and it will print hello brainy student. So let's compile this program. Alt F9. Run this program. Enter starting number. Let us suppose my starting number is 7. So as you can see, 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. Hello brainy student. Or if we want to check again, let us have number 10. So it is 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 1, and brainy student. So this is how we can work with a while loop. Now let's have another example of if loop. Let's take a, or let's change in this program only. Okay. So let's check whether the entered number is odd or even. So for that thing, let's do like this. So let's take an example of if and else. So let's check which number is maximum among three numbers. So if I take example of maximum among three, that means we have to enter three number and then we have to do comparison between those three numbers. So let's take three variables int a, b and c. Now I'm asking user to enter three numbers. So that thing can be done by cout, enter three numbers. As soon as user will enter three number, we will supply that to memory using cin a, b and c. Now I'm applying condition if. Now if my a, for checking equality, this is my equality operator. For checking equality, we have to put double equals to. If I do single equals to, my compiler will treat it as assignment operator. So I'm using if a is equals to b and logical AND. For logical AND, we have to put 2 times at the rate. Sorry, 2 times ampersand. So if my a is equals to b and my b is equals to c, means all three numbers are equal. That means I have to write cout three numbers are equal, right? Now if this thing is not correct, let's put brackets also. Let's make it a block. So this is my one block. Now another block. If this thing is not correct and if a is greater than b. If a is greater than b, again I want to check if a is greater than c also. If a is greater than b and if a is greater than c also, we have to write cout maximum is, and whatever value that a holds, that is a. I'm closing this this block if, and I'm closing second if block also, right? Now if this thing is not correct, we will, if this a is greater than b, but if a is not greater than c, then we have to write else cout maximum is c. If a is greater than b, then only it will enter to this block. A is greater than c. If a is greater than b and a is greater than c, it will print a is maximum. But if a is not greater than c, but if a is greater than b, then indirectly c is maximum, right? So we are putting this statement in else. Now this is my closing of else, this is my closing of this if. So let's close one more if, the main if block. Now we will make one more else, and we will check if B is greater than C. Now if this is true, we have to write C out, maximum is B, right? Else C out, maximum is C. Now this is my if closing, this is my else closing. I need one more closing for this else. So this is nesting of if and else. So as you can see, we are having three variables. We inserted values for three variables. Now we are checking the condition if A is equals to B and B is equals to C. That means indirectly all three are equal. So we are printing three numbers are equal. This equality we can check by using equality operator, and plus we are using AND operator. AND operator will give true result if both conditions are true. So that's why we are using logical AND for this. Now we are checking if A is greater than B. Then only we will enter in another block. If A is greater than B, and if A is again greater than C also, we have to write maximum is A. Else C is maximum. Then this is my one block where we are doing checking for A and B and A and C. Else we will check for B and C. If B is greater than C, we are printing B is maximum, and if it is not true, C will be maximum. So I'm closing this if and I'm closing this else completely. At last I'm writing get ch, and this is my closing of main function. So let's save this program. Compile it. Alt F9, we don't have any error in this. Now Control F9, enter three numbers. So let us suppose my first number is 3, my second number is 6, and my last number is 2. So it is printing maximum is 6, as you can see. Now let's run one more time and let's insert all the values equal. Let's insert three equal values, 4, 4 and 4. So it is saying three numbers are equal and maximum is 4. Fine. Let's do one more example for switch. So we completed all control statement. Only last one, let's understand switch. Now switch case can be used to replace else if ladder. As you can see, there is so much nesting in else if, right? So the switch statement provides a way of choosing between a set of alternative. Like based on the value of an expression, we can choose between set of alternative. That's why we are using switch statement. The another way of C++ selection statement is switch. The switch provides for the multi-way branch. Thus, it enable a program to select among several alternative. it works like a value of expression is successfully tested against a list of constant, and when match is found, the statement sequence associated with that match will be executed. So this is how switch will work. We will make one program so that you can understand this thing better. Let's check whether the entered number, we will enter a character. Let's enter a character and let's check that character is vowel or not. So I'm including my first header file iostream.h, and I'm including conio.h, my main function. Now I want to check for a character, so let's take one character. That character name is ch. It is ch is my character variable of type character, so the ch holds 1 byte in memory. Now let's ask user to enter a character. So I'm asking user enter the character. Fine. After this, we have to store that entered character to memory, and that can be done by cin. Now I'm using switch. Now I'm writing for switch keyword, and with the switch I'm checking for this character. We have to make a block statement for switch. Now I'm making case. Let us suppose we know that if I want to check for a vowel and consonant, we have A, E, I, O, U, 5 vowels. So we can make case like this. Because it is a character, we have to write this thing in a single quotes. So first case is case A. If the ch is equals to A, we will have on a screen this is a vowel, right? Because A is a vowel, we know this thing. This is a vowel. Fine. And I'm writing endl here. Plus I'm writing a break. If this thing is true, this program will break at this instant only. And if this condition, this case A, is not true, then it will move for another case. So for case 2, we will have E. So for E, if it is true, again we will have on the screen this is a vowel, and I'm having endl for this. Let's check for, we have to break also. Let's check for case O. It will write this is a vowel and we have to break. Let's check for case I. At last, let's check for case U. So this is how we can make all the cases. Now suppose it that character don't belong with these cases, then for that we want a default case. For default case, we have to write keyword default, and we have to write whatever statement you want to print on screen. We can write this is a consonant, right? If it is not a vowel, it will be a consonant. So it will be printed on the screen. And at last, I'm closing this switch case. So as you can see in this program, we are having switch. In this switch case, we are passing a character. Whatever value you want to check will be checked by using these cases of switch. So it will check vowel if it is belongs to vowel category. That means A, I, O, U, and it will print this is a vowel, and it at the same time it will break from the switch case and it come out from this braces and program ends. And if it does not belongs to vowel category, default case will execute and we will get this is a consonant on screen and it will come out from this switch case. So let's put a clear screen also. So this is my clear screen function. Let's save this program. So I'm saving this program as vowel.cpp. .cpp is my C++ extension. Let's compile this program. We don't have any error. Let's run this program. Enter a character. Let us suppose I enter R. Now, R is not a vowel. That means I am having this is a consonant on screen. Now, let's enter a vowel. Let us suppose I enter I. So I is a vowel. So this is how your control statement work. This is how your control transferred from one by checking condition, and if that condition violate, that control will be transferred to other point. So these are my all control statement for if, switch and while. Now let's start with arrays. Arrays. Array is a kind of data structure that can store a fixed size sequential collection of element of same type. As we know, array is collection of element. If I want to have 100 variables simultaneously, now it is not feasible to declare all 100 variables like a, b, c, d, how much we can declare. So for that thing we need collection of variable of same type. If I'm declaring an array of integer type, it can collect 100 integer element. If I'm declaring an array of character type of 100 size, it can collect 100 character element of size 100. So array is a group of logically related data item of the same data address by a common name, and all the items are stored in means physically adjacent in contiguous memory location. That is an array. Now an array is used to store collection of data, but it is often more useful to think of an array as a collection of variable of same type. Now, if we want to store more than one value under a single name at same place and at same time during program execution, then C and C++ provide that concept of array. So an array is a collection of more than one elements. All elements in array should be of same data type. All the elements of array are stored in continuous memory location. The number of elements variable that an array can hold is called as size of array. An array of character is known as string. So just see the declaration for array. We have to write data type or return type. Then we have to write array name, and in this bracket we have to define size of array. So, and at last we have to write statement terminator. Let us suppose I am defining an array of integer type. Let us suppose my final size is 100. So I have to write integer or int. Let us suppose number is my array name. So I have to write int numbers. And in this size I will define 100. So my first number will be number 0, array name, and its address, its location is 0. This is my 0th value. Then numbers 1, numbers 2, and last element will be numbers 99. So this is how this array will get memory. Then we have two types of array: one dimensional array and two dimensional array. Like any other variable, an array needs to be declared so that compiler will know the kind of array and how large an array we want. So for that thing we are using, let us see a one dimensional array first. uh, this is my syntax. I'm creating an array, I'm writing return type, I'm writing array name, and I'm defining size. So if I write int age 5, this is a age array of size 5, means this int is specified type of array, this age specify name of array, and this 5, this number tells how many elements of type int we will be in our array. The bracket tells the compiler that we are dealing with the array. Till the time there is no bracket, compiler will not understand that we are dealing with an array. In array, indexing of elements starts from 0 to n at form 1, means you can see in this diagram int age 5. So age 0 will be our first element, age 1 will be our second element, and it will continue till age 4. So this is my array declaration. Then we have array initialization also. In starting, when we declare an array, it did not have any value in them, means all this location will be blank. So we have to give value by ourselves. So at the time of declaration, blank array have garbage value. A managed way of assigning value in a blank array is called as array initialization. Now, size is 4, so we have to write, let us suppose we will give value in this array only. So we have to write return type, value of return type of this array is int. Then we have to write name of array. So name of array is age, so we will write age, and size of array is 5, so we will write 5. Then we write is equals to, and we will write this brackets, this braces, and we will assign value like 45, 34, 16, 20. These are 4 value, we need 5 value, let us suppose 10. So those value will be stored on age 0, age 1, age 2, age 3. Or we can do it like this also. If we don't define size, we can simply define numbers here. So this num will be array of size 4, because it is only having 4 values. So it will start from 0 and end on 3. So this is how we can assign array. Now, accessing elements of an array. Once an array variable is defined, its element can be accessed by using subscript, or what we say index, the number in bracket following by array name. If I want to access fourth element of this array, fourth element means 0, 1, 2, 3, and fourth. So this fourth element I want to access. So in array of n element, first element index is 0 and last element index is n minus 1. So by writing array name and by using index, we can access that element. For you accessing fourth element, what I have to do? I have to write h, and this is my first, second, third, and fourth. So I have to write h and I have to write 3. So that time I can access this 32. Fine. So this is how we can deal with a single dimension or one dimensional array. So let's make a program for this one dimensional array. Let's check whether entered number is even or odd. Now, so I will take an array. I will read 10 integers from outside, and then we will tell how many numbers are even and how many numbers are odd, so that we can have 10 collection of integer. So we will take an array. So I'm including my header file. iostream.h, console input output.h. This is my main function. Now I'm declaring an array. Return type, let us suppose array name is a, and my compiler will understand this is an array as soon as I put this bracket. So I'm writing size 10. If I write size 10, 0 to means a of 0 to a of 9 memory will be allocated in memory. Now I'm taking variable I, odd, and even. These are my normal variables of integer type. Fine. I'm writing clear screen also. Okay. Now let's ask for 10 number. So I'm writing cout, enter 10 numbers. Now for insertion 10 number, if we insert 10 numbers manually, again it will take so much time. So better to use a loop for iteration. So I'm using for loop. We know that syntax for loop is for initialization. Then we have to write a statement terminator. Then we have to give condition, again statement terminator, and then we have to write increment or decrement. Fine. So I'm writing for I is equals to 0, because we know that first element of array is a of 0. So I'm starting this with I of 0. I should be less than 10, because when it starts from 0 it will end at 9, and I plus plus, right? It is a block statement, so we have to open braces. Now for inserting value to the computer, we will use cin. Array name is a, and we are putting I as index. When I is equals to 0, value will go to a0. Then it will do increment. It will check condition. If this condition is not violating, that means I is equals to 1, that value will go to a of 1. Then next value will go to a of 2, and this thing will continue. Now if we check, or better let's check here only, if I'm using if loop also. For if I provide condition, if a of I means if at the time I0, I1, I2, if a of I gives us reminder 2. You remember this arithmetic operator? This will give us modulus. So modulus is, it will give us reminder. So we will check if it is giving us reminder 2 as 0. 0 means this is my equality operator, and I'm checking if a of I value that is stored at a of 0, we divide that thing by 2 and it is giving us reminder 0, that means that value is even, right? So we will do increment in our even variable. Fine. Else we will do increment in our odd variable. Fine. How can we judge a number is even or odd? Even numbers will not divide by 2. If it is divided by 2, then it is a, sorry, even number will be divided by 2, and if it is not dividing by 2, it is odd number like 3. We can't divide 3 by 2, remainder will not be 0. We can't divide 5 by 2, remainder will not be 0. But if I divide 4 by 2, remainder will be 0. So if remainder is 0, we are incrementing in variable even, and remainder is non-zero, then we increment in odd variable, right? And after this we will come out from our for loop. At last we will do cout, and we will print value, how many even and how many odds we are having. So let's write even is equals to, just because I'm writing this even with double quotes, I will see this even on screen, and for finding out value which is inside even variable, I have to write even like this, right? I'm using handle here. Then for odd, I'm writing odd is equals to, this odd is equals to, I can see on my console window, and this odd will give me my normal output. Fine. And at last get ch, and we are closing this main function. So as you can see, here we defined the array by return type, array name, size of array. We are having three integer variable, even, odd and I. For inserting 10 variables simultaneously, we are applying a for loop, just because we know that array starts with index 0. We started this loop with 0, that is I is equals to 0, and this loop will continue till I is less than 10, that means from 0 to 9, and we will do increment. As soon as this condition violate, it will come out. Whatever value I'm inserting at a of 0 will be checked, like a of 0 value at a of 0, we will find modulus with 2, and if it is equals to 0, we will increment even variable, else we will increment odd variable. At last we will print how many even and how many odds we are having. Let's save this program. Okay, I'm compiling this program. So we don't have any error. Let's run this program. Enter 10 numbers. So I'm entering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So how many even, how many odds? We are having 5 even and 5 odds, right? So let's check. Okay, it is showing some garbage value. Let's declare this even and odd as a 0 in the beginning. Odd is 0 and even is 0. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So as you can see, we have 5 even and 5 odd. So if you will not initialize this odd and even as a 0, this odd variable and even variable have some garbage value, and then increment in that garbage value can be done. So it is possible sometimes that your variable can take garbage value. So it's always better after declaration of variable, initialize those variable. So there is no possibility of taking any garbage value. So this was our one-dimensional array. Next is two-dimensional array. A two-dimensional array is a representation of more than one row and one column. Right now we are only dealing with one with rows, means only normal contiguous memory location, only one row. There was nothing like rows and columns. Now we want something as row and column both. So for that thing we need two-dimensional array. Two subscript or index are required to access each and every element. It can be said that array of several one-dimensional array can be a two-dimensional array, right? So syntax, we have to write data type or return type, array name. Previously we were only supplying one index, one size. Now we have to supply row size and column size. Fine. Let us suppose this array int marks, this int is integer type, return type of the array. This marks is name of array. Now row size is 4, means we will have 4 rows, that is 0, 1, 2 and 3, and we will have 3 columns. 3 columns means 0, 1 and 2. So this is my two-dimensional array. We will have marks 0 0 for first element, will it will be marks 0 0, then marks 0 1, then 0 2, 1 0, 1 1, 1 2. Like this we will insert value to our two-dimensional array. So let's make a program for two-dimensional array so that you can understand this thing better. Let's make a program for two-dimensional array so that you can understand this thing better. Let's do addition of a matrix using two-dimensional array. I'm including header files iostream.h and conio.h. I'm writing my main function. Now I want to add two matrix, so I have to take two arrays of different size. Let us take of size 2 2. So this is my one array int a, that is integer type array of name a. This is my row and this is my column, means I'll have a matrix of 2 by 2 row and size, means we will have 0 1 row and 0 1 column. Fine. 2 rows 2 columns. Now one more. So we will add A matrix and B matrix, right? Now when we add two integer, like if I'm adding 5 plus 2, integer 5 plus integer 2, that means 7. 7 is again an integer. That means I need an integer variable to store that 7. Similarly, if I add two arrays of two dimension, I need one array of same size to hold the values. That's why I'm creating one more array, so that when addition is performed, we can store the values in an array of same size. We can store the values of arrays of same size. Now I'm taking variables, so I and j. Now let's enter values for one matrix. Let's enter values for matrix A. So just because more than one row and one column, we have to apply for loop. We have to do for 0 0, then for 0 row first column, then for first row 0 column, first row first column. So I'm applying for loop. So for I is equals to 0, I should be less than 2, and I will do increment in I. So I plus plus. Then this is for row. Now I have to apply one more for loop for column. For j is equals to 0, then j should be less than 2, and we will increment in j. So as you can see, when I is 0 and j is 0, whatever value we will store, we'll go to a of I and j. So when I is 0, j is 0, a of 0 0 gets its value. When I is 0 and a is 1, a of 0 1 will get its value. Then this condition will violate as soon as j becomes 2. So another increment will be done for I loop. Now I is 1 and j is 0. So a of 1 0 get its value. Then increment will be done in j. So I is 1 and j is 1. So a of 1 1 gets the value. As soon as j again becomes 2, it will violate and it will come up. And then when I will increment from 1 to 2, this condition also violate, and we will come out from this for loop, right? So this is how a matrix will get its value. Now I'm doing for B matrix. So enter values for matrix B, right? Similarly, for B also, because same row and column, we have to apply two loop for I and for j. So for I is equals to 0, I should be less than 2, and we will increment I. This is for row. Now we will apply for column. For j is equals to 0, j should be less than 2, and we will increment j. So when I0 J0, that means value will go to B of B of 0 0. Then accordingly increment will be done, and all these places will be filled, right? Now we want to do addition. Now when I is 0, j is 0. That means a of 0 0 should be added to b of 0 0, and that value should be stored at c of 0 0, right? That means we need loops for c also. For storing value also we need loops. So for I is equals to 0, I is less than 2, and we will increment I for j is equals to 0, j is less than 2, and we will increment in j. Now C of ij will be equals to A of I j plus B of I j, right? When I is equals to 0, j is equals to 0, value which is present at A00 and B00 will get added and it will store to C00. Then internal loop will be incremented first. That means j will be incremented to 1 and it will check condition 1 is less than 2. That means this condition is true. Then A of 0 1 will be added to B of 0 1 and that value will be stored at C of 0 1. As soon as this condition violates, because when j is incremented to 2, j is no longer less than 2, and then this upper loop will be incremented. That means I become 1. So when I is 1, again j is 0, value which is present at A of 1 0 will be added to B of 1 0 and that will be stored to C of 1 0. Again j will be incremented to 1. So value which is present at A11 will be added to B11 and it will store at C11. Then j condition violates. If we increment I condition also violates and it will come out. Fine. So this is how this C matrix will get all its values. Now I want now final result. So for printing final result, let's apply one more for loop because we have to print value from C00, C01, C10 and C11. Now for that thing I'm applying one more for loop. I is equals to 0, I less than 2 and I plus plus. For j is equals to 0, j less than 2 and j plus plus. And we will print values from C ij. So for that thing I'm using C out and I'm using C ij. So value which is there at C00, C01, C10 and C11 will be printed using these two for loops. Fine. So I'm closing this two for loops and ultimately I'm writing get ch and I'm closing my main function also. So let's see this program once again. In this program we have taken two matrices because it is two-dimensional, that means row and column. I want to add one matrix to another matrix. So this is my return type, this is my first matrix name A and row size is 2 and column size is 2. This is again integer type and my second matrix name with row size 2 and column size 2. When I add two matrix, I have to store result in third matrix only of same return type. So I'm taking integer for the C also. This is my third matrix name of same size, same rows and same columns. I'm taking two variables I and j. I'm starting with entering values for first matrix. For that I need two for loops, one for row and one for column. When I is equals to 0 means 0 row and 0 column. When increment first internal increment will be done and then outer increment will be done. So when internal increment will done means j is 1, so we will have value for 0 row and first column. Then as soon as this condition will violate, outer increment will be done. That means I become 1. So for first row and 0 column and first row and first column. So this is how this A and B will get the value. Now values which are stored at A and B, matrix A and B, like at position in matrix A, whatever it is at position A of 0 0 will be added to B of 0 0 and it will be placed to C of 0 0. For that purpose again we need two for loops, and ultimately for printing everything from matrix C we need for loops for row and column. Let's print C a line here so that we can get that thing on screen. Let's write addition of two matrix is, so that we can have this line on our screen. Fine. So let's save this program. I'm writing this as add.cpp. Let's compile this program. No errors. Let's run this program. For 0 row and 0 column, my first element is 1, and for 0 row and first column, my element is 2. Then for first row and first column, 0 column, my element is 1, and for first row and first column, let us suppose element is 2. Now enter values for matrix B. So let us suppose I am again entering for B00 as 1, for B01 as 2, then for B10 as 1 and B11 as 2. So as you can see, addition of two matrices, this 1 0 row 0 column, 1 will be added to 1 and it become 2, and 2 will be added to 2 and it will become 4. Then for first row, 1 will be added to 1 and it will become 2, and 2 will be added to 2 and it will become 4. So this is how we can do addition in a matrix. Similarly, if you change formula, C of ij is equals to A of ij minus B of ij, it will give you subtraction. So if I change this thing like subtraction of two matrix, it will give me subtraction of two matrix. I just have to change the formula, that's it. Otherwise I don't have to do anything. So let's compile this program. So first row and 0 row and 0 column. Fine. For second matrix, as you can see, subtraction is 0 0 0 0. Fine. So this is how you can do addition with a matrix, subtraction of a matrix, multiplication of a matrix. All you can perform using applying formula, using apply for loops. Fine. So this was my two-dimensional array. Let's start with strings. Now C++ provide following two types of a string representation. As we know, a string is nothing but collection of characters. Fine. If we combine, if we have more than one character continuously, then we will call it as a string. So if I'm having any string, for example, name of a person, Ram. Ram is a string because it is containing so many characters. Which character? R, A, and M. So Ram is my string. So any collection of character will be known as string. So C++ provide two type of string representation: the C style character string and the string class introduced with standard C++. So these are the two character string type that our C++ supports. So I hope it is clear. A string is group of character ended with a null character. It also known as array of character. Fine. Next we have character strings. So for character string, the C style character string originated within the C language and continues to be supported within C++. Normal C style character string, as we saw in C, it will be supported in C++ as well. The string is actually a one-dimensional array of character which is terminated by a null character. Null character is nothing but \0. It is treated as null character. At the end of any string, we have a \0. So it is collection, one-dimensional array of character type. Thus, a null terminated string contains character that comprise the string followed by a null. So basically a new data type is considered, that is a character string, which is used to represent sequence of character regarded as a single data item. In C++, strings of character are held as an array of character, one character held in each array element. In addition, this null character represented by \0 is append to the end of the string to indicate the end of the string. Fine. So hence we have a string that has n character that require n plus one element array, because at last we will store a \0. Fine. So the following declaration and initialization create a string consisting of a word hello. Now to hold the null character at the end of array, the size of character array containing the string is one more than the number of characters in hello. As I said, it is n plus 1. For example, I'm taking an array of character type, that means data type, array name, then I have to put bracket and have to define size. So I'm writing char, this is my for character, then greeting is my array name, and I'm writing size 6 because HELLO is hello needs 5 character, but we need one more character for holding the null value. So I'm providing size 6. So this is my initialization as well as declaration and initialization of character string. If you follow the rule of array initialization, then you can also write like char greeting means return type, then string name, and you can simply, without defining size, you can write hello in double quotes. Now in this case, this memory will be assigned like HELLO for 5 character and one more additional space, 1 byte space for null character in both C and C++. Fine. When we are writing only one character, we have to use single quotes. When we are writing complete string, we have to use double quotes. So this is there in the string. So as you can see in this program, we are creating this array greeting of size 6 of character type, and we are initializing this greeting 0 will be H, greeting 1 will be E, greeting 2 will be L, then L, and then O, and at last greeting 5 will be null. So if we print greeting message, this greeting message will become on the screen simply, and we will have hello. Fine. So let's execute this. So I'm including iostream.h. Inside my main function, I'm defining a string of name greeting, and this is of size 6. Fine. As well as we are initializing this also. So for initializing, I need these brackets. Now my first word is, let us suppose H, and just because it is a string, we have to write this thing in single quotes. Then my second word is E, my third word is L, L, and last one is O. Fine. Now automatically this H will goes to greeting 0, E will go to greeting 1, then L will go to greeting 2, then another L will go to greeting 3, and another O will be go to greeting 4. But if we are defining size 6, because we need null character also. Fine. So if I want to print, I have to use cout. So if I write like this, it will display me on the screen. And I'm printing this greeting. Fine. Let's put a CL or a CR. So we are printing this greeting. Let's save this program. Let's save as greet.cpp. Let's compile this program. Alt F9. We don't have any error. Let's run this program. So as you can see, it is giving us brainy student hello. Now this brainy student, just because we printed that thing in using cout, it is coming on screen, and this greeting value inside greeting array will be printed to the screen using this greeting variable. Fine. So this is how we can print a string. Now, character function in C type. We are having 11 character type function in C type. So, for this, we have to include our character string, that is character function. We have to include hash include C type dot h. Then only we can be able to use all these character functions. Fine. Our first character function is, we have to declare this function as return type function name and with one argument. So this int alnm function is to check whether the entered character is alphanumeric or not. So for checking for alphanumeric, we are using this character type function. Then we are having int is alpha. This is again take only one parameter. So this function is used to check whether the entire character is alphabet or not. Is control will check whether the past character is a control character or not. Is digit will check whether the enter character is a decimal digit or not. Is graph will check whether the that character has graphical representation using locale or not. Is lower will check for lowercase. Is upper will check for uppercase. Is print will check whether the past character is printable or not. Is punctuation is punch is used for check punctuation. Is a space is used for check white space. And is x digit will use to check whether it is a hexadecimal digit or not. So this is my character C type dot h functions. Then we are having string function in C++ also. C++ supports wide range of string function that manipulate null terminated string. First of all, we are having strcpy. Strcpy is nothing but string copy. If we want to copy one string to another, we have to write strcpy. We have to supply two string s1 and s2. If we are doing like this, it copies string s2 into string s1. Whatever value which is there in string s2 will be copied to string s1. This will be done by strcpy. And then we are having strcat. It concatenates string s2 onto the end of string s1. First s1 will be there, and then that string, that s2 will be placed just after the s1. So if I'm writing hello student, in first string is hello and second s2 string is student. So after hello I will get string student using strcat. Then I'm having strlen. It will only take one string as a parameter. It returns the length of the string. For example, if I want to my s1 is having hello, so hello, that string is of size 5 plus a null character 6. So using strlen, if I want to find size of length of a string s1, I will get 6 on the screen. If strcmp, this is string used for comparison. It returns 0 if s1 and s2 are same. It less than 0 if s1 is less than s1, means we will have some negative value, and greater than 0 means we will have some positive value if s1 is greater than s2. So it is comparing with reference to s1. So next we are having strchr. It returns pointer to the first occurrence of character ch in a string s1. Means this is for a string character. We are finding the string character. It returns a pointer to the first occurrence of character. And then we are having str. It returns pointer to the first occurrence of a string s2. Whenever we have a string s2, as soon as first occurrence of string s2 will be there, the pointer will be come at that point. So these are some common string function. For using any of the string function, we have to include a string.h header file. At last summary, In this session, we studied about expression. An expression is a particular concept of computer science in which numbers, variables, or constant, and operators and function are put together in a single statement that acted on by a particular programming language. We know that expression is nothing but operator plus operand. Then we studied about statement. C++ mainly provides two type of statement: simple statement and control statement. For simple statement, a statement cause the computer to carry out some definite action is a statement. For simple statement, we have assignment, go to, return, and call. For control statement, we have do, we have for, if, switch, for loop, and do while. Fine. Next, we studied about arrays. Arrays are nothing but collection of element of same data type. Then we saw one dimensional array and two dimensional array. For one dimensional array, syntax is return type, array name, and in bracket we have to define size of array. And for two dimensional array, syntax is return type, array name, then we have to define row name and column name. So that is my array. Then string, all the function except int as a parameter whose value must be end of function or representable as a unsigned char. So string is nothing but collection of character type array is string. String, a C type.h header file of a C standard library provides declares several functions useful for testing and mapping characteristics. Everything is present inside C type.h. For C type.h, like is upper, is alphabet means alphanumeric, is alpha, is lower, is a space, everything is present inside C type.h. Then we for string.h, all the function return non-zero true if the argument C satisfy combined described and 0 if not. So for string.h also we are having so many, so like concatenate for finding out length, for finding out uh, means for finding out length of a string, for concatenating a string, for copying string, for reversing the string, for finding out for doing comparison between string. All those things we can do using strings. So this is all for this session. Thank you very much.